Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge.
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
And let's talk horror. Today we are joined by the amazing Boomer of the podcast In the Woods. Boomer, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. How are you guys?
We are very good. So as you guys may have read in the title before, we were going to have She Needs a Priest with us here tonight. Now, unfortunately, due to some health issues, she will not be able to join us tonight. I'm so sorry about that, but like I said,
we're still going to have a good time.
We're still going to have a great time, and health comes first. We need to make sure that we're all healthy. Everybody's doing okay. I would not want someone to be here if they weren't feeling well and they were having a miserable time. Mm-hmm. That wouldn't be good for anybody. So I hope that you feel better. She needs a priest. We will miss you. But tonight we are here to have some fun. So before we get started, I want to talk a little bit about Boomer, but let's talk about everybody that's here in the chat. Daniel, what's up, buddy? Top 5 hardest rankings we've done so far.
Hey, Daniel.
Just like Nathan, I agree. Hey, Shaheem.
Hi, Shaheem.
How you doing? And obviously my boy Nathan's here.
Hey, Nathan.
John.
Hey, John.
How's it going, buddy? Jamie.
Hey,
hi.
Jamie.
I hope Raven's with you. Tell Raven we said hello.
Hi, Raven.
Our girl Cecily.
Hey, Cecily. We love you.
Spooky Primo. How's it going, buddy?
Hi.
There's Mika.
Hey, Mika.
Hey, Mika. Oh, and there's Gavin too. Man, the party's all here, man. So obviously tonight what we're going to be doing is ranking our top 10 horror franchises. Now, these are our favorites, not the ones we think the best. I'll tell you this. The one I think the best is not my number one. J-Dev.
Hey, J-Dev.
What's up, my dude? Now, before we get started with that, I do want to say, Boomer, can you tell people a little bit about the podcast that have not listened yet?
Sure, absolutely. It's called Podcast in the Woods, and you can find us on all podcasting platforms. Just started it this year after a couple of years of procrastination, of course, because that's just how I am. Just to fly by the seat of my pants. It's a little bit wild, and it's just just trying to have a good time and talk a little bit about horror. And it was awesome to have you guys on there this week. Again, like I said, we kind of change up or are changing up the format as we go along, just trying to keep people on the edge of their seats. And that was a blast.
Yeah, we had fun.
We did. We'd had an amazing time. And not only do I have your Twitter link down here in the description, I also have our episode down there. So once this is over, guys, if you want some listening before you go to bed, you can listen to me, Ashley, and Boomer count down our top 6 favorite horror movies. We did the 666 episode, for it being Boomer's 6th episode of the podcast. So that is all down here in the description, so you guys can check that out. Please make sure you subscribe to the podcast. We're lucky not only to have him as a friend, but to have been a guest on the podcast. It's something that meant a whole lot to Ashley and I. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, awesome. Hey, and by the way, let me just say it's already the most downloaded episode that I've done so far. So there's lots of Sledgehammer horror fans out there. Thank you guys. Love y'all.
I'm glad that really honestly makes us feel really good, because if you have the content that you have, that we're both fans of your content, and we came on and we can help to be a positive episode, that really makes us feel good, because your stuff is really good. So for you to be putting out the content that you put out already, and for people to like it so much that they just did that, it means a lot to us, man. So thank you for sharing that with us and the people that are watching. Thank you very much for that, Boomer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So real quick, let's catch up on the chat before we actually get into our list. Raven says, "Oh my God, hi." We are Raven's biggest fans.
We love you, Raven.
I gotta say that this weekend, actually, Saturday, we are going to Horror Hound in Cincinnati. If any of you are going, please come and hang out with us. We'd love to say hello. And we get to meet Raven. We're going to get a picture with her. We're so excited. We can't wait to meet you, Raven. We're super stoked. No spoilers for X 2022. Not worth the hype, but still a very good horror movie with major problems for me personally. We're hoping to see that directly after Horror Hound. So please, no spoilers. We haven't seen it. Just checked out the podcast on Spotify. The Spotify on podcast. Just checked out the podcast. Gosh darn it! Will you read that, please?
Just checked out the podcast on Spotify today. I'm enjoying it. Awesome.
Thank you for checking it out, Mika. And I can tell you that Boomer appreciates it as well. Sorry that I can't talk today. I just started following the podcast In the Woods today.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jamie. Sledgehammer Horror equals viewers. J-Dev, thank you, buddy. That's all her. I didn't mention I changed. Hey, Robin. Oh, okay. How you doing, buddy? It's nice to see you. Thanks for stopping out.
Hey,
I like the name change. Me too. Raven says is more excited for April.
Yes.
We'll talk about that more in a couple days. I want to wait until we are with Raven, and we're going to make a special video to let you guys know about a very special thing that we'll be doing with Raven in April, and we can't tell you how excited we are. So be waiting for that video probably Sunday. I can't really think of a top 10, but a top 3 would be Nightmare. Freddy is the best horror character of all time. And then between Halloween at 2, Scream at 3. Okay.
That's a good list.
Yeah. Jordan! Oh my gosh!
Hey,
What's
Jordan.
up, buddy? Thank you for stopping in. This is one of my OGs right here. This is my guy. No, you must be looking in a mirror, my friend, because you're looking good. So we are going to start here. And again, before we go any farther, I do want to say one more time, thank you so much to everybody that has listened to our episode with Podcast in the Woods. It means a lot to us. We were so excited to be guests on there. And the fact that you guys will go and listen to that really means not the world to us, but also to Boomer. So thank you. Please continue to check it out. The guy makes great content, and I'm so honored to have him here. So without further ado, we will start with our list. So I have 2 honorable mentions today. And my first honorable mention is Final Destination. And this is mainly for the first, second, and fifth ones. 3 and 4 are what make this an honorable mention and not actually a part of the list. And then from there, my second honorable mention, Tremors.
Didn't I think of Tremors?
It's another franchise I've always been really big on. 1, 2, and 3 I think are absolutely magnificent. You get a little bit of dip in quality after that, but those first 3 to me are just so good that that's almost one of the best trilogies of all time for me. That's how much I love those. So my honorable mentions are going to be Tremors and Final Destination. What about you, my love?
So I have 2 as well. One of them is The Ring. And this is the American, the 3 American ones. I've never seen the Japanese ones, so I can't include those ones on there. But I've heard really good things about it. Honestly, that they're really scary. I just love the story and the concept and the scares. And Samara, she scared the shit out of me when I watched this. I was like, I still lived at home, and my room was like downstairs. And I was like, I'm not sleeping down there by myself after watching that movie for the first time. So, and then I have Poltergeist as one of my honorable mentions. These movies stand the test of time. Why? It's too low for you?
No, I don't have it on mine. And I'm actually really upset that I didn't put Poltergeist on my list because how much I really love that franchise, especially 3.
It's the first 3 I think are good.
Yeah, the remake is
the remake is shitty. Like I don't really remember a whole lot about it, so it must have not been memorable at all, to be honest. But yeah, the first 3 I really love them, and I feel like they stand the test of time. And Caroline, the actress, God rest her soul, she was a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have a lot of fun with those. So
great.
Those are my honorable mentions.
Great choice.
Thanks.
I'm really bummed I didn't pick Poltergeist. How about you, Boomer?
So I've got 2 as well, and man, I can already feel the horror police and the SWAT to me right now. So my first honorable mention is Scream. I love the Scream franchise. It's with the exception of maybe the 3rd one. And I know the 4th one gets a lot of hate, but I had a lot of fun with that, and I particularly loved the antagonist in that movie. I was down for it, but it just falls right outside. That would probably be number 11. I do love the Scream franchise, so please don't come for me. But it just did not quite make my top 10. And the second one is another untouchable. Please forgive me. Is the Child's Play franchise. And again, I love absolutely every single movie in that franchise except for Seed. I just can't get behind Seed. But other than that, man, I love them. And it was so hard for me to not put that in there. But the 10 that I have are just amazing to me. Anyway.
Okay.
Now, to have Child's Play as an honorable mention, they better be. So before we go on to our top 10, let's catch up with the chat real quick. Raven is here now. Hey, Raven. Thank you for joining. Nathan, my 2 honorable mentions are Insidious and Predator. Ooh, Predator's a good
Predator's
one, too.
good.
I know it's only 3, but it wins for me. That's perfectly fair. Why don't I own Tremors? I love it. We watch it all the time. Tremors is good.
Yep.
My honorable mention is Underworld. Oh, very nice. I didn't even think about Underworld either. My honorable mentions are Texas Chainsaw, Saw, and Poltergeist. Charles, thank you so much for the donation. Halloween for the win. I don't agree with you, but I love you, Charles. You've been an OG since day one. But, you're a good friend of ours. You're a great supporter of the channel. We appreciate you. As always, guys, you never, ever, ever have to donate money for us to bring up your chat. We appreciate it. And I promise you we'll use it to go back into Sledgehammer Horror. But we appreciate that so much, Charles. Honorable mentions are The Ring and The Purge. This right here, Boomer, is me canceling you for having Scream too low. And this is J-Dev canceling you for having Scream. When you said, I swear to God, when you said Scream, my first thought was, J-Dev's not going to like that.
Yeah, I told you.
Wow, Scream didn't make the top 10. Boomer, curious to see how it goes. Yes, Ken canceled times 40 for Child's Play. J-Dev canceled times 2. Scream is way more than an honorable mention, Raven says. Ken, your face when he said Child's Play. Honorable mention, Poltergeist. Jordan says Darkness Falls and Lights Out. Lights Out is such an underrated film.
That's a scary
Daniel, you love horror? We love horror. So I hope you stay and have a good time, buddy. I've never seen the Ring sequels. Didn't care to watch them. I don't remember the Ring remake. Not sure if I watched it. Ringu is better. People died of fright. Yeah, it's definitely a good one.
Yeah.
Russell says the Alien franchise. Raven's canceling us too. I watch horror all the time. That's awesome, man. I really hope you have a good time with this because we love horror just as much. I promise. Marsh, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Marsh.
I just saw your daddy-daughter pics, dude. Your daughter looks so beautiful, dude. And you look so handsome. Thank you for being a great father. We need more of you in the world. Sean says Child's Play at 4, Psycho at 5, Blair Witch Project at 6, Friday the 13th at 7, The Shining and Dr. Sleep, very good. Mm-hmm. Texas Chainsaw, Aliens, and Jeepers Creepers. Now, I only counted movies that had 3 or more. That's why I would have had Dr. Sleep and The Shining probably as number 1. Mm-hmm. But in ours, it had to have 3 or more different films. Now, you could say The Shining had The Shining, the made for TV, The Shining, and Dr. Sleep. They're both The Shining, so I didn't count those. Mud said, oh, right here, Hellraiser. If we were only counting the first 3, sure.
Yeah.
Wait, what did I come back to? Scream was an honorable mention. What are some of your favorite horror movies? I promise you we'll get into that. Everyone is canceled. Now, I do want to point out, as some of you may notice, I am wearing my Amityville horror t-shirt. Is that a sign of things to come? Hell no, that franchise is garbage. So, babe, do you want to start us off with number 10?
Yeah, so number 10 for me is Final Destination. These movies do such a great job, like, playing on your fears. I mean, how many of us see a log truck and, like, get around it? And, like planes, like when you're getting on a plane, like that isn't in the back of your head. So, I mean, besides, I think it was number 4, I'm not the biggest fan of. And 1 is probably my favorite, Devon Sawa. He's my guy.
Devon Sawa is my guy.
But yeah, the number 4 had horrible CGI.
And I didn't like number 3 either, the roller coaster one.
That one was fun. I liked that one, but number 4 was probably my least favorite.
Okay, since you said number 3 was okay, I'm going to quote my friend Gavin here. You get a cancel. You get a cancel. You all get a cancel.
I dare you cancel me. I dare you.
All right, Boomer. What about you? What comes in at number 10 for you, my friend?
Okay. So it's a good thing, I guess, that YouTube no longer has the downvote because I would be getting all of them. So let me apologize right from the very beginning to everybody out there because you are not going to see Nightmare on Elm Street. You're not going to see Halloween. Scream is already gone. Child's Play is gone. At number 10 on my list is Tremors. I love Tremors, man. The first one, I mean, you can't go wrong with Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon is amazing in the first one, and I love every single one of them. I know that they progressively get stupider, but to this day, if I'm in a bad mood, if I'm having a bad day, I can pop in any single one in the Tremors franchise and just have a blast, and all my troubles just go away. I love Tremors.
Very good choice. And
I like all of them too. I think the only one that I didn't like was the Western one.
Western one. I didn't really like that one either.
I've
grown to appreciate it, but I agree with you, my love.
it wasn't as exciting as the other ones.
Right. And I'm one of the minority here. 1 and 2 are always going to be very special to me. But if I'm sitting down and like, I want to watch a Tremors movie, I throw in part 3. Part 3 makes me laugh a lot. I love the ass blasters.
The ass blasters.
There's so much about part 3 that I enjoy. So, yeah, that's where I go. So my number 10, hear me out.
Nope. This
is my 10th favorite franchise. I'm going to see if anybody in the comments. I'm going to give you guys 15 seconds to see if anybody can guess what franchise this is. It's my 10th favorite franchise, but you can't say anything. It has my least favorite horror movie of all time in the franchise. So we got 15 seconds to see if anybody can guess it. Like I said, it's my 10th favorite franchise, but one of these movies I think is the worst movie that's ever been made. So we got about 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Can I say what it is?
4. You can. Gavin already got it. 2, 1. And that franchise is
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist.
I knew it.
This is how I think good job, Gavin, by the way. Good job. I think that The Exorcist 2 is the worst film I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yes.
But this shows how strongly I think of 1 and 3. 4 actually freaks me out. When the Nazis are making the priest choose who they're going to kill.
Yeah.
God is not here today, priest. And he starts shooting people. That fucked me up,
man. 4 and 5 are like the same
Yeah, they are.
movie.
They're like the exact same movie.
I'm like, this is the same damn thing.
I've had people tell me that they like 4 and not 5. I'm like,
how? It's the exact same thing.
Same almost. Actors, same everything. But I will say, Julian got it too. So did Mika. I will say that for real, The Exorcist 1 and The Exorcist 3 are both that good to me that I had to put this on my list because 1 and 3 mean so much to me. 3 is the best one in the franchise, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I think The Exorcist 3 is a top 10 favorite movie of mine. Like, it's a fantastic movie. Like, where The Exorcist is a scary, scary movie, The Exorcist 3 is just an amazing film. It's just so good from beginning to end. And Brad Dourif's performance as the Gemini killer is just mind-boggling. Gives me chills. Oh, yeah. When he's in there screaming, like, it's so good. So coming in number 10 for me is The Exorcist. What about you, my love?
Then I already did.
Oh, you did. You started this. So we will catch up on the chat real quick. Nathan says his number 10 is Alien. J-Dev, my question, why did they kill off Alex off screen? I don't think he wanted to be in the sequel. I think they approached him with a script and he was like, I'm good, and they killed him off screen, which I think is a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Everybody knows how I feel about Sawa. So, yeah, that's how I'm pretty sure he didn't want anything to do with it. Top 4 is solid, but the rest is a rough list. Honest, you could replace a few for me. Friday, Texas Chainsaw, and Jeepers Creepers. I could swap on. Yeah, I get that. Mm-hmm. Ashton, thanks for stopping in, buddy. Number 10 would be the Resident Evil franchise. Didn't really follow the video games, but it's still a fun time. Are we all horror movies since we all got canceled? Pretty much. Boomer, this list better be strong.
Gonna try.
No, you know what? This is what I love about it. We can all joke and laugh because if we all had the same opinion, this would be boring as hell. I love the fact that we're not all going to have the same list. And I love the fact that we all love horror, but our taste can be so different in what we watch. So I love that. I absolutely love it.
Next clip, he has hate mail in his
email. Final Destination, the fear of dying and the fear of... I've always considered Final Destination a supernatural slasher. Death is definitely...
It literally, like, you can't see him.
Yeah.
But...
He's totally a slasher.
It's a slasher, for sure.
Tremors is a classic. I could throw it on at any time. So true, Boomer. Ass blasting for the win. See, now that's a t-shirt I need.
Yes.
Raven's number 10 is Candyman. There's Gavin getting it. 10, Tremors. Jamie, 10, Friday the 13th. Sean says Hellraiser. Saw. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Exorcist. Everybody guessing The Exorcist now. Bro, that shirt is dope. Thank you. Ashley and I just did a versus. We just filmed a versus. The Amityville original versus the Amityville remake. I'm very excited for you guys to see how that turned out. Daniel says, I like Chucky, Psycho, Texas Chainsaw, Saw, Halloween, Resident Evil franchise, Blair Witch, Exorcist, Carrie, Conjuring. Oh, man, those are all great choices.
Great ones, yeah.
I was finally right for once in my life. Gavin, every time we talk, you're right. You're my fool in the rain, buddy. The Exorcist 2 is so bad. The best one is Exorcist 3.
It's
Mika, I totally agree with you. If you guys haven't seen The Exorcist 3,
it's such a hidden gem.
It is.
Like
we stayed away from it for so long.
2 just threw me off from the franchise, and I was like, nah. And then we like watched the whole entire franchise, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah, I got roped into doing a franchise ranking, and I was like, okay, we'll check it out. And we literally watched The Exorcist 3 on Shudder. And then the next day, we bought it on Blu-ray just so we could watch all the special features and learn things about it. So I can't recommend it enough. I love The Exorcist 3, especially the nurse crawling on the ceiling in the hospital. So good. Also love the Scream movies. 10, Psycho. Very underrated franchise. And if 4 wouldn't have been, I didn't like 4, I would have had it on there as well. Saw Part 1, top 100 films for sure. Had it not been for one of the worst horror franchises of the time, I would have to put Wrong Turn. I like some of the Wrong Turn movies. Number 9, The Omen. Oh, shit. We got people on here. Online strip without clothing. I also love The Omen. All right. So now we are up to our number 9. And that will be Boomer starting us off at number 9.
All right. So number 9. Again, let me apologize to everyone. No, I'm not. I am... If you guys don't know me, I am known for my horror hot takes, and so here we go. Number 9 is Ringu. I absolutely love the Ringu franchise. I know somebody mentioned it before. Ringu, the first time I saw it was one of the scariest movies that I'd ever seen. I actually got to see Ringu before I saw the American remake, and that's what I'm talking about. Strictly the Japanese franchise. The Ring is good too, but I absolutely love that Japanese franchise. It has 9 of them, if y'all didn't know. And yes, I pay a bit of money so I can stream Japanese horror movies or Asian horror movies. And I have seen all 9 of them. The last one was Sadako, and they differ in quality, but I enjoy every single one of those.
Yeah.
I'll say, I know that you are a big foreign film fan, so I knew that you would have.
I've heard good things about the Ringu, and but
so I knew that you were going to have a lot of the foreign films on your list, which I think is super dope because I love the fact that you go all out with that. That makes it so much more fun to know how committed you are to that.
Japanese know how to scare the shit out of you.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. So I'm going to say this one more time now that the chat is starting to show up. If you guys haven't already, down in the description, I have Boomer's Twitter account, as well as our episode that we did on his podcast. So if you want to go follow him on Twitter and then check out the podcast, make sure you're not just downloading our episode, subscribe to the podcast, make sure you're checking him out. He puts in hard work. I love the podcast. We listen to it while we're at work, while I'm editing videos, things of the such. So make sure you're checking him out. And if this is your first time here at Sledgehammer Horror, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you along for the ride, guys. And tomorrow is going to be another very special day. We'll talk about that at the end of this episode because today is about us and Boomer. Tomorrow's a whole new day, but just stay till the end because we got something really cool to tell you guys about tomorrow if you don't already know. So coming in at number 9 for me. You guys ready for those cancel fingers? You guys ready? Number 9. Halloween. Look, I've grown to respect the Halloween franchise.
I don't even want to hear it.
But to me, there's so many stinkers in the franchise. The original Halloween 2, I'm not a fan of. You got the Rob Zombie Halloweens, which I'm not a fan of.
I agree with that part.
Halloween 6, which I am not a fan of.
It holds a special place in my heart.
I get that, but there's just so many films in the franchise that are weak. Resurrection is another weak one for me. So there's a lot of great. I bust balls all the time about Halloween. Because it's Ashley's favorite franchise, so I can't act like I like it too much.
Don't be trying to get ahead of yourself. You don't know.
I'm gonna assume.
You don't know.
But I don't know. She could fuck. Yeah, she does it every single time. We don't. Okay, I didn't say this at the beginning. Like always, we do not know each other's lists. We never do. We want this to be fun. So I feel like if we know each other's list, there's no fun in that. So I assume it's Halloween. But that's why I bust balls on it. I legitimately think there are amazing films in that franchise. 1, 3, 4. H2O is probably in my top 25 of all time. 2018 and Kills. I've grown to really, really enjoy Kills. I wouldn't say I love it, but I enjoy it. So for me, I know that it's low, but I have my reasons. I don't think 2 is very good. I think the Rob Zombie Halloweens were really bad. I think Halloween Resurrection is bad. I think Halloween 6 is probably the worst in the franchise, if we're being honest with each other. So, I love the franchise. I just think that the 8 I have above it, I like a little bit more. And I'm going to say this, every franchise on here, these are our favorites. So I love the franchise. Like Amityville's not on this list. Jaws, not on this list. Spoiler alert. Big spoiler alert. Texas Chainsaw, not on this list. So, I mean, there are franchises that people like that I don't have on this list.
Is Leprechaun on your list?
Fun fact, Leprechaun, not on the list. I mean, there are franchises that I just don't dig at all. But Halloween's on the list. I do like it, so please don't cancel me too hard. You want to give us your number 8, my love?
Number 9.
That one.
I will give you my number 9, and that is The Exorcist. Yeah. Yeah. It's so good. I think the first one is probably one of the scariest movies ever.
Yeah.
I won't even mention the second one. That dumpster fire, I try to forget about that. And third is probably my favorite. It is definitely a hidden gem. And I just feel like the standard on like their possession movies just is better than most. Like, it's really good.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. It's a great movie. All right, so we have done everybody's number 9. Let's catch up on the chat. Yeah, sorry, I tried to get the bots out of here quick. What did you guys think of The Grudge? I very much enjoyed the first Grudge. I wasn't as 2 is okay. Then they had a part 3 that was decent enough, if I remember correctly.
Didn't they just have one?
And then they had the remake that we did not like.
That just came out a couple years ago or a year ago.
Well, I remember we didn't. It was one of those ones where
I thought I enjoyed it.
You can't even remember it. That shows what we thought.
I can remember it. I'm thinking of it right now. Like, I can remember it.
It was not very good.
It was okay.
It had the guy from Harold and Kumar in it.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah, it wasn't that good. Well, I thought that you thought that. Well, maybe she liked it and I didn't. So.
And you just assumed I didn't?
Right. Number 9, Hatchet franchise. Haven't seen 3, but 1, 2, and 4. Very fun slasher movies. Felissa Rose, Dave Sheridan, a lot of fun. Ringu is a great choice. Fantastic franchise. Boomer agrees. Have you guys seen Blood Diner? I have not.
No.
Have you seen Blood Diner, Boomer? I think we lost you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's you got me?
Yeah, there you are.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, I've seen Blood Diner. It's not great, but it's a lot of fun. I've seen a lot of trash.
I'd watch it gladly. I've seen The Exorcist too. I'll watch Blood Diner. Ringu is a great pick, Boomer. The Japanese franchise is by far the best done so well. Number 9, Saw. Although Shawnee is one of the sweetest women you could ever meet. We might talk about that again. Halloween at 9. What?
I agree.
Ken is canceled. He's
hey,
right.
At least it made your list.
Halloween number 9 canceled.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love you guys still. Number 9 for me would be the Ju-On franchise. There you go. Resurrection is terrible. I dislike Halloween 6 more than Resurrection. At least Resurrection entertains me.
You don't like karate?
Well, I mean, I love the Buster Rhymes. Like, for real, I'm not being facetious. Like, there are really parts in Resurrection that make me laugh. I don't get that with Halloween 6. Halloween 6 is a drag for me. Yeah. So at least with Resurrection, it's not a good movie, but I can be entertained while I'm watching it. So that's what I look for. My favorite 2, Halloween by far. It's okay. You can cancel me. Number 9, Nightmare on Elm Street. 1 and 3 were the best. You see, Raven, I agree with you, but part 4 is my favorite. I do think 1 and 3 are the best, though. You big fan of 2?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 2 is my absolute favorite.
Definitely. I think besides Wes Craven's New Nightmare, 2 is the darkest.
Mm-hmm.
No, Ken, not Halloween. Hey, Lewis. My boy Lewis went and seen, took his boy to see the Tigers in spring training.
Oh,
so,
awesome.
Yeah, very cool, man. Just watched for the first time back in 2018 before the new one was coming out. I'm assuming you mean Halloween, Vince, and I hope that you liked 3 a lot. Number 9, Nightmare on Elm Street. Love Robert as Freddy Krueger. I hate his character because he's a child predator. The nightmares and kills were creative. I agree with you there. Mm-hmm. Halloween at 9 is fair. It has a lot of good movies, but there are some trash in there. I agree. Quiet Place would be on here if it had a 3rd film already, which is coming soon. Resurrection is the worst movie I've ever seen. Just don't get me started. Okay, now Ken is canceled due to Halloween 6 is the worst. Sorry, J-Dub. You know I love you. The Japanese version of The Eye is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. Wasn't that you, Boomer, that was just telling us about that?
I was, yeah. And they have, so they've made a few different ones. Yeah, one they have a Japanese version, they have a Chinese version, and I believe that if I remember right, there is one from Thailand as well, and they're all really, really good.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to check it out. Ken's number one is the Ginger Dead Man franchise. Well, no, we don't even gotta finish. Nah, I love you, Nathan. I've only seen the original Exorcist, but wanting to see The Heretic. Oh, do not watch The Heretic, Vince. I'm telling you, I'm not. When I say it's the worst movie I've ever seen, I'm not kidding. The Exorcist 2, I mean, judge it for yourself. I'm not gonna tell you don't watch a film because someone made art. Hopefully, you would dig it, but it was not for me.
No.
Paranormal Activity, I think they are underrated, which is very fair. Damn it, I missed the naked bots. Sorry, buddy. The Exorcist 2 can't be as bad as people make it out to be. Watch it, buddy.
Nothing happens. The movie.
I was so angry. Like, there's very few movies where I literally watch the clock. Like, come on, how much longer does this thing have? I got to finish it because what if something amazing happens and I fall in love with it? It didn't. How are you not a fan of Halloween Part 2, bro? I know I hear that a lot, but it's just such a slow burn for me with the kills are the only good thing about Halloween 2. I think it has the best kills in the whole franchise, but it's just too much of a slow burn for me.
It's a disappointment.
Halloween is a franchise. You can start where you want. That's very true.
Yeah.
You can start it wherever and just have fun with it. No, it's clearly a B movie. Doesn't make sense. I'm assuming you mean Blood Diner. What do you think of Ju-on? We are fans of Ju-on, but we haven't seen the whole franchise of the Japanese Ju-on. I don't want to get into Boomers yet because Boomer, we may talk about it again, but I can tell you that we have not seen the whole franchise yet, so we can't make a accurate criticism or praise of it because we haven't seen it. I'm with Ken. I found Halloween 2 so boring, put me to sleep. Yes. Trick or treat, motherfucker. See, exactly. Like, at least it has moments that make you laugh. Watched you on Craven. You are a great couple. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That really means a lot to us. And Craven is such a good dude. I'm so glad that he had us on so you could check it out. Thank you.
We had so much fun with that too.
We did. Yeah, I mean Halloween. Okay. I love all Halloween films apart from 3.
I don't disagree.
Sounds like somebody I know.
Well, that one and the Rob Zombie.
Halloween 3 is its own. Exactly. It is its own.
And it should have been named something else.
You're very welcome. Don't watch The Heretic, honestly. Exorcist 2 is a stinker. Yes, he meant Blood Diner. Okay, guys, so we are now up to our number 8, I believe. Yes, we're up to our number 8, and that is me starting. And we talked about franchises that have good movies and very big stinkers. And that is this franchise for me, and that is the Conjuring franchise. I do love the 1, 2, and 3 of the Conjuring. A couple of the Annabelles are good, but then you got movies like The Nun and The Curse of La Llorona that just didn't hold up for me.
The Curse of La Llorona.
No.
Oh.
I liked it better on second watch.
Yeah.
I just don't like how you had this. You have something that's very, very heavy with Mexican folklore taking place in California. That's something that really, really kind of bummed me out. I grew up in a very, very dominant Mexican family, and like seeing stuff like that just kind of rubs me the wrong way. I would have much rather it take place in Juarez or something like that, where you can see the heritage that comes along with the curse.
I can get that.
The Weeping Woman, you could get the real backstory on it, not an American. I would, if we can get a Spanish-made The Curse of La Llorona, I think that'd be fantastic. But when it comes to the Conjuring franchise, those two didn't do it for me very well. But again, the movies that I do like in that franchise are so good that it just, I mean, The Conjuring 2, I think is probably one of the scariest movies to come out in the last 10 years with Sinister and The Dark and the Wicked. When I want to watch a real scary movie, those are ones that I put on. So for me, number 8 is The Conjuring franchise. Okay. What about you, my love?
Number 8 for me is Nightmare on Elm Street.
At number 8?
You literally,
I guess,
had Halloween.
I have Halloween at 9, so I better shut the hell up.
Don't come at me.
I'll just shut the hell up. I'm sorry.
I love most of these movies, not all of them. But I do firmly believe that this is one of Wes Craven's biggest influential contributions to the horror genre. Don't get me wrong, he's made some fantastic franchises But this one is a huge one.
Yeah.
And I just love Robert Englund. He's amazing. And the remake, it's just middle of the road.
We have a versus coming out on that, so I don't want to get too deep into the remake.
I was just saying,
What about you, Boomer?
Yeah, it's funny how you guys are apologizing, and these are movies that or franchises that didn't even make my honorable mentions. Number 8 on my list is Critters, and it contains one of the movies that I saw. It was my very first horror movie, so it holds a very special place in my heart. Power of the Night. Streets are calling. Yeah, I absolutely love Critters. I love every single movie in the franchise. I love it when they go to space. I mean, which kind of makes sense because they're from space. I like Critters Attack. Critters 1 is genius. Critters 2 with a huge critter ball is awesome. It's such a good time.
Over and you just see the skeleton laying there.
Yeah,
so good.
It's so amazing. I just love the mean little hairballs that kill people. It's great.
Very good choice. We will now catch everybody up. Oh, you haven't done number 8 yet, right? Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. All right, we will catch up on the chat. What did you think of Orphan? I enjoyed Orphan.
I liked Orphan.
I'm very excited for Orphan First Kill coming out this year. What about you, Boomer?
Yeah, it was good. I really liked Orphan. I didn't care for the ending so much. Like, I mean, it's just a small little woman and she's just tearing people up, but it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But I did like it. And First Kill I liked a lot more than the first one. I actually thought that one was better.
Yeah. 8 Jeepers Creepers franchise. I like the first one a lot. Love The Conjuring, especially part 1 and 2. I love The Conjuring. Same, Mika. The Conjuring 2 is my favorite. Me too. Number 8, The Conjuring. Solid trilogy in its own universe, but burn those spinoffs in hell, please. I've never seen any of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies except the remake. I will tell you this, Vince. In my opinion, the first Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, the OG, 1984, is the closest you can get to a perfect horror movie, except for the ending. And we'll talk about that later. But I think the original Nightmare on Elm Street is the best horror movie ever made. Just my opinion. It's not my favorite. I think it's the most well-done horror movie I've ever seen. I've only seen The Conjuring, and Annabelle didn't care to go on with the verse from there, which is fair. But I would say The Conjuring 2 is very good. Very good scares. Got to get caught up. Jay, thanks for joining us, buddy. 10 Children of the Corn. Ooh, 9 Jaws, 8 Saw, 7 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I watched the 3rd Jeepers Creepers on YouTube for free. Completely agree. It's crap. The Nun. I'm surprised a lot of people didn't like it. See, it just, to me, it worried.
So disappointed.
Yeah. To me, that movie focused more on the jump scares than it did the story of the film. It just seemed like it was like jump scare after jump scare after jump scare. And you had amazing actors and actresses in this movie. The guy from The Bridge was in it. Vera Farmiga's sister, daughter, whatever was in it.
They pretty much, I mean, they did what they were supposed to, but their script just.
I wanted more story and less jump scares.
Yeah.
Number 8 would be the Hannibal Lecter franchise. Silence, Hannibal, Red Dragon, Hannibal Rising. Very nice. You can't remake a classic. It's going to be bad. Critters is awesome. Critters ahead of Scream. Oh, wow. Well, I already canceled you. My first slash was Halloween and then Black Christmas. Black Christmas is amazing. The OG Black Christmas is so good. It's unfortunate what they did with the other movies, but that first one is so good. I'm excited for an Orphan sequel. Number 8, Night of the Demons. Yes, Daniel agrees with Hannibal. Number 8 for me is Halloween. They keep making her have new kids and forget them. Very good choice, Raven. Number 8, The Conjuring. I mean, it's cool, but it's which every movie is about witch. See part 3 yet. Spoiler warning, it's about a witch. Very nice. Never seen any of the Conjuring movies. I'd like to. I'll be meeting the Chiodos brothers in May. Very cool. Awesome. The Chiodos brothers do great effects. That's awesome. The Conjuring for me as well. Too many spinoffs let me down. Black Christmas is a masterpiece. J Dev says, I'm just having fun with you, Boomer. He knows. It's all in good fun. Okay. We know. J Dev is one of the best men I've ever met in my life, Boomer. So he's definitely he cancels me every single live. So don't feel bad. So we will start at number 7, and that will be you, my love.
Number 7 is the Evil Dead franchise. Stop. So they're jam-packed with scares and gore, and I love me some gore. So, and go ahead and cancel me over and over. That's fine.
No, it's all good. I respect it.
Yeah. I don't even know where I was going. You screwed me out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. I mean, they had a bunch of stuff too, like TV shows and video games, and I love the TV show.
And I will say this: the Evil Dead video games are one of the only video games that I could ever get her to watch and play with me.
Yeah, those are actually pretty entertaining.
Like she had fun with that and Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts and Evil Dead were the only games I could ever get her to hang out and play with me. So.
Or Frogger. I'm pretty good at Frogger.
Yeah, she's the shit at Frogger. All right, good choice. You want to give us your number 7, Boomer?
All right, so number 7 is the first heavy hitter on the list. It is Friday the 13th.
Okay.
One of the most consistent franchises in film history. Yes, they're all the same movie, but they know what you like and they give it to you, except when Jason Goes to Hell, but I still love that one. I love Jason X. I even like the remake. I really do. Friday the 13th. Yeah, Friday the 13th is it's a good time, and you know exactly what you're gonna get when you go into it. I love it. So number 7 on my list.
Nice.
Yep, very good. So number 7 on my list just edged out The Conjuring, and the reason why this movie just edged out The Conjuring is because, or this franchise is because there's less crap in this franchise. This is where it was hard for me. From here on was hard because these movies are all really good, and I'm very excited for The Dark Realm coming out this year. So number 7 for me is Insidious. I think the first Insidious was the first. Ashley's number 7 was The Evil Dead, Robin. For me, the Insidious franchise, every single one is a very good movie with very good scares. But the very first Insidious movie really, really got us. It was one of those movies that I watched it, and after we were done, we sat there in the cinema for a couple minutes, and I was like, wow. Like, that was a masterpiece. It was a movie that genuinely scared me to my core, the thought of losing your kid. It's just, man. So, and every movie I like, actually, I think I like 3 the least, and it's still a great movie. So coming in at number 7 for me was Insidious. So we will catch up on the chat real quick before we get to Boomer's number 6. Russell says number 8, Jaws. I was tempted to make Jaws an honorable mention just because of how much I love the first one, but the other ones were just so bad that I couldn't do it. Respect though, Russell. I just not for me. Nathan says number 7, Texas Chainsaw. Jay is correct. Jay says if J-Dev cancels you, it just means that he cares. I don't have Evil Dead on my list. Don't like any of them. See?
Wow.
Nathan, you've been canceled for the first time ever in the chat. Boomer certainly has an interesting list. Black Christmas has been remade 2 times now, and both times were so unfortunate. I know a lot of people love the Black Christmas one with Billy, the yellow Billy.
Yeah, that one was just weird.
Too much kid sex for me to enjoy.
That was an odd movie.
7 for Jamie is Texas Chainsaw. Its overall premise is great, but some of those sequels are a big miss. A big miss. Haven't seen any of the Evil Dead yet either. I know I'm missing out on a lot of good ones. Man, the best thing is they never go out of style. They're not going anywhere, man. No, take your time.
They definitely still hold up the test of time for sure.
Which is funny because I've said this often. The very first Evil Dead is my least favorite in that franchise. And I love that movie. But that's how good that franchise is to me.
Even the remake was amazing.
Hey, Ken, if Ashley's canceled for that, then you're going to hate that I only like the remake in that franchise. I'm assuming Evil Dead. Yeah, I love the Evil Dead remake. I think it's the best remake ever made. I did a top 10 remakes, and that was number 1.
Yeah.
Either that or Child's Play. I can't remember. One of those two. But I love the remake. I will never hate that. Hey, there's a good one, Boomer. I also love Jason X. For me,
Jason X always gets love on this
chat. Jason X always gets love on our chat. And I think it's because everybody knows I don't like it.
I love it.
For me, number 7, Elvira, because masterpiece. Ashley's number 7 was Evil Dead. Evil Dead is a solid pick. Never loved, but liked the first one. Never got into the second one. I get it, but oh, God, I love it. I first watched Evil Dead when I was 9. I was off school for 2 weeks because of the melting mushy peas died. My mom didn't understand why I was ill, but I couldn't tell her. My brother let me see it. That's awesome. God, I love stories like that. 6, Psycho. The first one is classic. The second one gets overlooked, but it's my fave. The others aren't horrible. You know what? I really like part 3. I didn't like part 4. And the remake to me is just the exact same thing as the original.
It is.
Because we were going to do a versus on Psycho, and we're watching the Vince Vaughn one, and we're like, man, there's nothing that we can verse on here because it's the exact same thing. So
I mean, except for the characters.
Yeah. And again, I don't hate the remake. I just, Anthony Perkins was he's Norman Bates to me.
Yeah. He's definitely awkward and yeah.
Insidious, easily an all-time masterpiece. Only time I was legit scared in the theater. Yes, I can attest to that. I agree with Ashley. Evil Dead at 7 for me as well. The remake was a masterpiece. It certainly is. 7, Return of the Living Dead. Nice. Number 7 would be Night of the Living Dead franchise. You can't go wrong with that one, Mika. Great franchise. Number 7, Halloween. It's a wash, rinse, and repeat with Michael Myers, a serial killer. But after a while, just people dying with a butcher knife. See, that's why I didn't like it as a kid. It was so white bread to me.
Oh, man.
Hey, Maya.
Hey,
How you
Maya.
been? Hey, doesn't matter about the path. We're here for right now,
Yes.
Maya, and you are here.
We're glad you're here.
Yes, Raven, you absolutely can pick the
You
Frankenstein
can.
movies.
Yes.
Hot take, Evil Dead 2 is the most overrated horror movie of all time. My favorite.
I know.
That's all good, Deb. And even Boomer's like, oh.
Yeah.
I have Jason X. It's hilarious. Number 6, Psycho. Number 7, Creepshow. I didn't like Creepshow 3. Yeah, I'm telling you, if Creepshow 3 would have been Tales from the Dark Side, this might have been my number 1 franchise. That's how much I like 1 and 2. Great minds think alike. Not going on here, but an honorable mention would be the Firefly trilogy. Pieces is a mental film. Yes, it is. You don't have to be in Texas to have a chainsaw massacre. One of the best taglines ever. So, got to agree with that one. All right, so we are up to number 5, and that is Boomer starting us off.
We're at 6.
6, that one. We're at 6, and that's Boomer starting us off.
Oh, good, because I almost gave away my 5. I'm like, oh. All right, number 6 on my list only has 3 films in the franchise, but the first one is directed by Takashi Miike, and that is One Missed Call. One Missed Call is brilliant. It is so scary, one of my favorite movies of all time. And the second 2 are actually really, really good. And they're different stories. It's kind of neat. I mean, they flow together. They're connected, but they tell their own story. And I really love them. The third one is amazing with the school trip and the kids just keep getting killed off. It's so much fun. It's dumber than the other 2, but it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So One Missed Call, despite it being one of the smallest, is my number 6.
Nice.
Very nice. All right, so number 6 for me, let's play a game. It is Saw. A franchise that I very much enjoy. The first film is probably one of my favorite movie theater experiences I've ever had. And this is one of those that I could just put on any of these movies and love it from beginning to end. There's a couple in here at the later end of it that I kind of am not a huge fan of. But overall, I can say that I'm a very big fan of the Saw franchise. So much that it is my number 6.
So funny enough, mine is also Saw. As you know, I love the gore. I think the concept of the whole thing is unique, and I love John Kramer. Tobin Bell, he's amazing. He really makes the franchise awesome. And like you said, there's a couple of them that aren't great, but still, as a whole franchise, it had to make my list because it's still a good choice.
Yeah,
it's a fan favorite for sure.
For sure. So we will now go to the chat real quick to catch up. Don't apologize, man. I respect everybody's opinion, even if they're wrong. I've only seen the remake of One Missed Call.
Oh, that's terrible. No.
Yeah, the Japanese one's so scary, so I can't recommend those enough. What do you guys think of When a Stranger Calls? If we're talking about the original, I think it's one of the most underrated horror movies of all time. You get he's calling from inside the house, one of the most iconic lines. I wasn't a huge fan of the remake, but I did very much enjoy the original. What about you, my love?
Yeah.
And the remake wasn't bad.
I think I liked the remake, actually.
Yeah, it was. It was just. It reminds me of the Psycho remake. It's pretty.
They didn't really change a whole lot.
So I can't say I hate it. It's the same thing to me, and I wanted something different, something new. So that's my opinion. What about you, Boomer?
So the original, I like the original. I think it kind of meanders a little bit in the middle. The opening is ridiculously good, and if it would have been like maybe a short film or something, would have been absolutely perfect. I think it kind of meanders a little bit, and you're right. The remake is just kind of the same thing, except done not quite as well. So I really don't care for that one.
Right. Definitely modernized. Okay, Boomer with a home run on the one missed call. Love the franchise. James is number 6, Final Destination. Made all of us paranoid for life.
Absolutely.
Yes, it did. Did you like Spiral? I did.
I liked it too. Yeah.
I did too.
Again, I liked it more on second viewing than I did the first one. I called the killer pretty early.
Yeah.
But that's one of those movies that if you're going into it looking for the Saw twist, I didn't like it as much. But if you go into it just watching it for the good movie, I had a lot of fun with it the second time around. I think Chris Rock, he landed for me. For me too. The comedy and everything. I think he did. Talking about how Forrest Gump got AIDS.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Like that shit was funny. I liked it. I like the original and the remake of When a Stranger Calls. Number 6, Insidious, probably the most consistent ghost story franchise I've ever watched in my life. I love how every film feels different. Robin says number 6, Saw. Mika, number 6 would be Saw as well.
Everybody's 6 is Saw.
I know, it's awesome.
Just about.
She so I said enjoyed Spiral even though it was predictable. Yeah. I completely agree. You called the killer pretty early. Number 6, Insidious, for some reason the scariest films I have ever seen. They are so good. Scary. Daniel, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Yeah. We appreciate you so much. Any of you experienced a situation in real life that would make a good horror film without being too personal? Yeah, it's actually called Home is Where the Haunt Is, and we'll be premiering it on YouTube hopefully at some point this year. It's all filmed. We're in the editing process. It's a true story about the passing of my mom. We fictionalized it a little bit to make it more of a haunted house story. My mom passed away in her sleep at the age of 50. We still don't know why, so I took my love of horror movies and made it into something spooky with a whole lot of real elements in our movie. It's a short film, just under 20 minutes, but it's very, very real. A lot of what you see and hear, names have been changed, but the events that happen are real in the movie. So it was very close to us, very personal to us. We're very proud of it. That's why it's taken us a little bit longer than we had hoped for it to come out. But I can't wait to share this with you guys. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it when it comes out. Do you got a personal experience you want to talk about?
Oh, jeez. I can't think of any. I don't know. A lot of scary stuff happened to me as a kid.
You're like, but Ken's mom dying?
Yeah. So what he said.
No. Yeah. Our short movie is called Home is Where the Haunt Is. It will be out on YouTube at some point this year, I promise. We just came into a couple kinks that we're trying to iron out. So I'm very excited for you guys to see it. What about you, Boomer?
Yeah, that's really neat. So the only thing that I can think of, so we used to live in the woods, and not just the name of the podcast, but we had one night where our neighbors were about a mile from each other, but there was a person that was going door to door, or not door to door, but going from house to house and checking windows to see if he could break in. And this person knocked on my child's window and was trying to get in. So, she had texted me and I ran outside and chased him off. And so, yeah, that was pretty scary.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Scary. Yeah. That's horrible.
Yeah. Damn. That is a real life horror movie right there.
When I still lived at home as a teenager, I had
window.
Well, I had somebody look. I was in the basement and we had literally just moved in, and so we didn't have curtains up. But my room was in the back, so we didn't think it was a big deal. And I had somebody looking in my window with a flashlight, in the middle of the night, woke me up, scared the crap out of me. Went and woke my stepdad up, and he went out there, and there was footprints in the mud, and
they almost caught me.
Yeah, it probably was you.
It wasn't me.
I don't even think I knew you.
Yeah, we didn't know each other then, because I would have freaked out.
Yeah.
But thank you for the question, Daniel. That was really cool. I really like that question. Saw, Ken, more power to you. I know perhaps people love Saw, but I think it's just very overrated franchise. I like the first 3, but the next... See, it's funny because I really like 6 a lot. I think 6 might be one of my favorites actually in the franchise. I think that one's a lot of fun. I like Asian horror. Most of them are in a franchise. Man, Robin, you got to link up with Boomer.
Yeah.
I promise you, Boomer has the scoop when it comes to Asian horror. He knows his shit. He completely blew us away when we were on the podcast talking about his love of Asian horror. It really made us appreciate it and want to go out and dig deeper into the genre.
Because they really do know how to scare the shit out of you.
Yeah, and Boomer's love for the genre of Asian horror really, really made me and Ashley like, we got to watch more of this just so we can connect more. Like, this is so cool. Samuel L. Jackson did great. I don't know which film it was. 6 Final Destination franchise. The remake of When a Stranger Calls is one of my favorite comfort horror films. The main thing I hate about Saw is not so much the kills, all solid, but the story of John Kramer and how much he planned before his death is beyond. I get it. I do. Looking forward to watching. Looking forward to laying eyes on your masterpiece, Ken. Hey, she had just as much to do with it, I promise. Like, she's totally my writing partner. Look forward to checking it out, Ken and Ashley. What did you guys think of Midnight Meat Train? It was okay. I liked it. What about you, Boomer?
I was so excited for that movie. I did like it. It was probably, I mean, it wasn't phenomenal, but I did love it. I've been seeing trailers and hype for that. I think it was a year or 2 before it actually came out. I know they ran into some production problems, but I was so excited to see that movie. And Vinnie Jones is like a, psycho killer, was just great. I love that movie.
That's awesome. Yeah. Gavin, my great uncle drowned at the house where I live at, and my mom used to talk to him every night.
Oh my goodness.
Never hang out with you, Gavin. No, I'm just kidding. That's scary.
That is scary.
Let's hope Ashley is the final girl of y'all's short film. Ashley's in the film.
I am.
I'll say that much. I can't say anything else because it'll give it away. But Ashley's in the film. Boomer, please recommend me the scariest Asian horror film you can.
All right. So the scariest one that I can think of is Shudder. Shudder is horrifying, but that's that's kind of right off the top. Everybody recommends that one. We'll get later on into the list, and I'll recommend another one because it is part of my list, and we'll talk about that.
Awesome. Can't wait. My House is Haunted and the Land Where I Live. Does that count? It sure does, Robin.
It does.
And we're never hanging out with you either.
I'm kidding.
House. We'd love to hang out with you. I love the Saw theme song. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, it's iconic for sure.
So iconic. Bradley Cooper did great in that movie. We stand writer horror, Ashley. You should, because I wrote a lot of in Home is Where the Haunt Is. I wrote a lot of the characters and a lot of the what was happening with the setting. Ashley did a lot of the dialogue, and she wrote in one of the best jump scares that I'm being biased right now, but I like it. Even watching it as I'm going through editing, I was like, wow, Ash, that was great. That was a great idea. So
sorry, can I interrupt real quick?
What's that?
I said, sorry to interrupt real quick, but another one I thought of. So it's not the scariest one, but Death Bell from South Korea is amazing. It's so much fun. It's not the scariest. It does have some scares, but I promise you're going to love it. Death Bell is ridiculously good.
Well, there you go, Daniel. There's another one, and he'll have some more for you as the list goes on. But now we're in the top 5. I will say this again: 5 through 2 could interchange at any time. My number 5 could be my number 2 tomorrow. So 5 through 2 are all interchangeable. So at the time of writing this list, number 5 for me is A Nightmare on Elm Street. I think that the first one, like I said before, is one of the best horror movies ever made. I've grown to have a completely different feeling on the remake. I'll say that much. I don't want to spoil too much of our verses, but as I talked earlier, I'm a huge fan of the Nightmare franchise, but it does have movies like The Dream Child, which I feel is the worst in the franchise. And it's also got the Dream, Freddy's Dead is another one that I have a soft spot for it. I know it's not a good movie, but my uncle took me to see it in the theater in 3D when I was a kid. So I'll always have a soft spot for it. And like I said, Freddy Krueger is an iconic villain. Wes Craven reinvented that franchise more than once. Wes Craven's New Nightmare, I feel, is one of the most underrated, solid horror movies I've ever seen. People hear it's a Nightmare on Elm Street movie and they just automatically assume it's goofy Freddy Krueger stuff, and it's not. It's a genuine scary movie. It's got real scares. I very much dig it. So number 5 for me is A Nightmare on Elm Street. You are all my children now. What about you, my love? I swear to God, if you say funny enough.
No.
Oh, you already did
I already did it. You canceled me because of it, remember? Anyways, I guess he's not talking to me now. What a lovely night it will be. It's Insidious. These movies, they do exactly what they're set out to do, and that's to scare the shit out of you. They make me anxious, and the jump scares are phenomenal, and I love that feeling of the anxiousness and waiting for a jump scare. I know not everybody does, but weird enough. I love that. Lin Shaye is great, and I guess the timeline is a little wonky with like the prequels and all that, but I really love Insidious franchise. So that's my number 5.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, Boomer, you want to give us your number 5?
Sure. Number 5 on my list is probably the least approachable franchise that you're going to hear all night long. It is Junji Ito's masterpiece.
Nice.
That's right. It is Tomie. So Tomie from Japan. There are 9 films in this franchise, and every single one of them at the end just leaves you like, what just happened? They're all ridiculously weird, and I love them for it, and I love Junji Ito. So number 5 is Tomie.
Very, very nice.
Awesome.
All right, so now we are going to go back to the chat real quick. Shudder is great. Thai movie, the ending was so good. Jay says number 5, Paranormal Activity. Yeah, I'm going to get killed for this one. No, I get it, man. I think that the Paranormal Activity films, you either love them or hate them.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. I think actually with the newer one was actually really good. With the Amish people, I thought that one was great. Boomer, have you seen White Melody of Death or Melody of the Curse?
I have, yep.
What are your thoughts on those?
Oh, it's really good. So it's and I think there's a sequel. I haven't seen the sequel. I'm pretty sure that there is, but I may be wrong. I may be thinking of something else. But yeah, I have seen White Melody. It is really good.
Awesome.
I think that maybe the Curse Melody of the Curse may be the sequel. Is that the sequel?
That may be what it is. Okay.
Nathan says my 5 through 2 are interchangeable as well. My number 5 is Scream. Mika says great Asian horror that I would recommend is The Wailing. Wailing's good. Freaking love Shudder. What did you think about The Wailing, Boomer? What was your opinion on The Wailing?
The Wailing is brilliant. If that had been a franchise, that would be in my list. I absolutely love The Wailing. I love the way that it plays with your expectations and, some of the preconceived notions and that they have over there. And I know some of it has to do with their culture, and it's kind of hard to pick up, but it's scary. I love the protagonist in it, the bumbling cop who is just trying to do the right thing. And I won't give away spoilers, but right. It's very long, but it's worth it. And that ending is fantastic.
Nice.
Very nice. I'm glad that you guys are including him in the chat. Pick his brain, guys. I love it. Gavin says number 5, Friday the 13th. Number 5, okay. Friday the 13th. Part 3 is my favorite. Part 3 is also my favorite. I've got a shirt that's got Vera getting the arrow through her eye.
Yeah.
Like I grew up. That's the one I watched the most growing up. Like I watch it now, and we'll get there. 1 and 2 are also interchangeable for me. Number 1 is not. My number 1 is my number 1 is my number 1. Everybody knows it, but we'll talk about it when we get there. Mika says my number 5 would also be Friday. Maya, sorry I was gone. I decided to make a list real quick. Yes, bring it on. 5, Scream. Love the franchise, literally to death, but the meta-ness of the series is appealing to start. On a binge watch, it's overwhelming for me. Number 5, Friday the 13th. Here's Shaim getting canceled. Dang, Gavin. 5, Friday the 13th. Junie Itzo's Frankenstein, though.
Huh.
I
love Frankenstein.
I know you do. Maya says, honorable mentions, Hostel, or Witch, Mike Flanagan Cinematic Universe. Okay, listen. If that counted, that'd be my number one. Mike Flanagan is a genius. Gavin, if Cheyenne is canceled, then you are canceled for your Evil Do comment. Ooh, getting the beef in the chat. Mika totally agree on The Wailing. It's a slow burn, but wow, what a film. Yep. Too low on your list, Cheyenne. Daddy Ghostface is disappointed. Paranormal Activity. I watched the first one back in the franchise. I hate found footage movies, but Blair Witch is one exception. I do like the Blair Witch and the newest one. Mm-hmm. Melody of the Curse is also what it goes by. I heard you all. Okay. You're All My Children in a different movie. You see, now if I ever heard that in a different movie, I'd be like, what are you doing? So let's go up to our number 4. And starting us off at number 4 is My Beautiful Wife.
So 4 for me is The Conjuring.
Oh, you had that pretty high.
I love The Conjuring, and I love most of. I don't enjoy all the spinoffs. None being my least favorite. But I feel like it really has taken over the horror universe, and I love The Conjuring a lot.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see where they go from here.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Thank you.
What about you, Boomer? Number 4.
All right, number 4, another heavy hitter on the list is Romero's of the Dead. I love that franchise. Anything that has some political commentary or satire is right in my wheelhouse, and every one of them are so smart. I love Land and I love Camera as well. I know you again come for me. Of course, the first 3 are the best, but the Day of the Dead is my favorite because I guess, like Romero himself said, I am a troll.
Right. And you can't go wrong with the Of the Dead franchise. But like I said, after the first 3 for me, it does kind of fall off. So I don't have it on my list. Spoiler
I get
alert. Number 4 for me, I can talk about it now since we are at it. Friday the 13th. Love Jason. And I am going to continue to pound salt. We need to get a Friday the 13th remake. Yeah. And I'm talking about a remake of the original film, not like the 2009 one where they remade the first 3 together. I'm talking about we need a remake of the original film with my girl, Kathy Bates, playing Mrs. Voorhees. I'm going to keep pounding this until it happens.
Let's do a petition.
Yeah, we need to get her because I just think that Kathy Bates is one of my favorite actresses, and she's scary. She's charming. She could play anything, take her from Misery and make that Mrs. Voorhees. I think she could do that.
I think I could see her being a protective killer mom for sure.
For sure. 3 will always be my favorite just because of the fact that was the one I watched the most as a kid. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to the best ones in the franchise, I think that's a toss-up between 4 and 6. I've really grown to love 5 the older I've gotten. If I want an entertaining Friday, I might throw in 5. When I was younger, I hated 5. I hated it. But I'm, ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. We can't do a live stream without me singing some Demon. Those damn enchiladas. But yeah, I think the Friday the 13th franchise, you get a little wonky at the end. Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason X. I'm not fans of those ones. In the middle, though, I think those 2 are the bread and the meat of that sandwich being Jason Goes to Hell. I think Jason Goes to Hell is a phenomenal film. I like it. I know a lot of people dislike it, but I really, really do like that movie a whole lot. So for me, number 4, my dude Jason, Friday the 13th. So let's catch up on the chat real quick before we give our bronze medal. Ashton, time for me to get canceled. I don't like any of the Blair Witch movies, not even the first one.
Wow.
Ashton, have you seen the newest one that just came out?
That one was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. If you've seen the newest one, let me know if you've seen the brand new one. Maya, don't feel bad. I had Halloween at number 9.
Number 10, Maya.
I would have likely put it higher. I haven't seen many of those films in the franchise, but what I've seen, it's a good franchise.
It's a good franchise.
For The Conjuring. Conjuring 2 is my favorite. I agree, Russell. Love The Conjuring 2. Number 4, Romero zombie films. I really love 04's Dawn of the Dead. So good, dude. Mm-hmm. So good. Number 4, the Predator franchise. 4 for Jamie is The Evil Dead. I agree they should get Kathy Bates to play Mrs. Voorhees. We got to get this petition going, guys.
You know how I feel about petitions.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. Number 4 for me would be a Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I love the Dawn of the Dead remake, but I could never get into the slow-moving zombies. Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter is one of my favorite movies of all time, but the rest are too fairly bad for me. See, I watch part 5 again. If you guys haven't seen that one in a long time, I get it. Roy Burns is Jason. It's Jason throughout the whole movie, man. And it's funny. It's very meta before meta was meta. I'm a very big fan of 5 the older I get. Kathy Bates is iconic. She is masterpiece of a woman. Jeepers Creepers, love 1 and 2 growing up. The Creeper is so unique. However, while it would have been higher on my list, 3 was decent crap. And it's cool because my buddy Nick, I don't know how many of you know Nick over at the Lost River Drive-In. He just interviewed Timo of the new remake coming out. And you guys should check that interview out. Nick did a great job. Nick's a good friend of ours. We're very excited to see him Saturday at Horror Hound. Hopefully some of you can make it to Horror Hound in Cincinnati. We'd love to be able to see some of you as well. But I had to put that out there because I'm very proud of Nick. I don't like Friday 5 yet. You're not old enough, J-Dev. Wait till you're an old, mature man like me. Number 9, Unfriended. I'd actually have to switch and put the Blair Witch series here and Unfriended in my honorable mentions. That's fine. I think Nikki, I can't even say that name, would make a good Pamela Voorhees. I'll look at that. No, I haven't. I'll check it out. I think the newest Blair Witch is my favorite in the franchise. Oh. It takes place.
It's good.
After, it's a direct sequel to number 1, and it's her little brother, Heather's little brother, going to try to find her in the woods. It's dope. Number 4 would be the Clintonville Trio of Terror. They are horror movies, Pigeon Raven Slayer. Oh, your guys' films. Put them out here so we can see them, bro. I want to see them. What's up? Hey, what's up, Nell? How you doing, sweetheart? Part 5 is my favorite Friday movie. Can't disagree, Gavin. Mel, I don't know why I called you sweetheart. I shouldn't have done that. I was thinking, when I read the name, I was thinking Raven. But it's nice to see it, Mel. I was thinking Raven. I call Raven my little sweetheart just because she's a young lady. Mel, I did not mean to come off as condescending to you. My tongue slipped. I apologize. That wasn't okay. Friday 5, I think I would need to see a shrink to watch that movie. Hate it. Ethel and Jr. are the most annoying characters. I get that. I have a lot of people that say that too. Hatchet at number 4 for Gavin. Mine says number 8, the Purge franchise. I recently did a binge of all these movies for the first time. It's
okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's middle of the road for me.
Wait till you're older and drunker. I'm more mature. I don't like fast-moving zombies. Dead bodies are supposed to move slow because rigor mortis sets in. I mean, for me, it's one of those things where in the original Night of the Living Dead, you got zombies, using garden masonry tools to kill the mom, or using rocks to break open the window. So I just don't think that there's anything like any set of rules. But I can respect where you're coming from. So that brings us to number 3, our bronze medal. And Boomer, that'll be you starting us off.
All right. So for number 3 on my list, again from South Korea, it is Whispering Corridors. Love Whispering Corridors. So the first one is just self-titled, Memento Mori, Wishing Stairs, Voice, and A Blood Pledge. All of them are unrelated except for the fact that they're set in a school setting or tie into the school in some way, but they're brilliant. And Memento Mori is one of the best horror movies ever made. It is fantastic, but they're all really, 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 really good.
Nice.
I just wrote that down so we could check it out. That's why I left. I left to go get a pen so I could write that down.
Nice.
So my bronze medal, Evil Dead. Again, I think that 4 is probably the worst, or 3 is the worst of the. 1 is the worst of the bunch for me. Wow, my tongue is not working today, guys. I'm so sorry. I think the original is probably my least favorite in the bunch, and it's still an amazing movie. Evil Dead 2, Ashley and I have written a fan film about. I know we talk about that a lot, but we have fan films for that in Pet Sematary that we're going to try to film this summer. But I really have a soft spot for the Evil Dead franchise. I've quoted Army of Darkness my whole life. It's something that I absolutely love. I think 2 is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and the remake stands on its own. I think it's intelligent. They go out to the woods not because they're just kids partying. They're trying to kick their sister off dope, and heroin is such a heavy thing. And I love, that's why we're going here. We're going to go here to get our sister clean and clean her up. So number 3 for me is the Evil Dead franchise. What about you, my love?
I have Scream as number 3. I feel like out of most of these that I have on here, it's probably the most consistent timeline. And I just love all these movies, the self-awareness, the comedy it lands. And you know, the first one really did change the horror genre. My least favorite is probably number 3, but I still love it. Like I can still watch it and you know, still be entertained. And so I guess if that's my least favorite and it still entertains me, then it must be a pretty good franchise. So that's my number 3.
And that's how it goes. As long as I can be entertained while I'm watching it, run it. All right. So we'll catch up on the chat. Shaheem, I love to believe that the evil spirit of Jason possessed Roy, or you heard Jason's voice. Like that's actually pretty cool. I like that. I'm stealing that. Jay says 28 days made zombies scary for me the first time. That is one of the saddest movies. I'm not going to give it away, obviously, but the dad, the way that things happen with him is such a sad thing. To be honest, take Ethel and Junior out of Friday 5. The quality improves a lot to me. I think I hate 5 because I love 4 so much. And to me, 5 is a poor follow-up, which is also fair. Very fair. Evil Dead franchise. A Nightmare on Elm Street at number 3 for Nathan. Whispering Corridors is a great one, Boomer. Just started this series. I wrote it down. And if Mika loves it too, then it's got to be great. I love Mika. Me and Mika are pretty fairly atoned on these things. So, and Mika's podcast will be coming out in about 2 weeks, a week and a half.
That's so exciting.
We're very excited for that. 3, the Purge franchise. Friday the 13th at number 3 for J-Dub. I'm surprised no one has mentioned Candyman, although I get it. The first one is a classic. The rest are mediocre to garbage. Ashley's canceled. Screams too low.
I knew it.
Shaheen, 3, Ginger Snaps trilogy. Such a unique female-oriented badass. What? I've only seen the first Ginger Snaps, if we're being honest. I'm going to have to check out the rest because that's the one I've seen. Scream 1 is the best, but I enjoyed the whole franchise. 3 for me would be the Evil Dead franchise as well. I actually prefer the remake to the original. Me too. Completely agree.
Remake is amazing.
Creep. There's only 2 of them, but it's a franchise because I said so. Fair enough, Gab.
Creep is good.
3 is also Scream for Jamie. I don't have a bad thing to say about it. There's a lot of Asian games you can play, and Jamie's also been canceled. So now we are up to our silver medal, number 2, and that is not my list. Number 2 for me. What's your favorite scary movie? It is Scream. It's such a. I talked earlier about how.
I know what your first one is.
My favorite franchise is not which franchise I think is the best when it comes to quality. It's Scream. I think when it comes to quality of film, you've got 5 Scream movies and there's not one stinker in the bunch. Scream 3 is not the greatest, but if I made 5 movies and the worst movie that I made out of those was Scream 3, I would feel blessed beyond. It's still a fun movie. It's a great movie. The franchise is awesome from top to bottom. And like Ashley said, something she said, it completely revitalized the horror genre. I mean, I've said this before, but you look at the movies that came out in the horror genre in 94, 95, in the beginning of 96, compared to 97, 98, 99, you'll see the impact that Scream had on the horror genre, whether you love it or hate it. Scream is just, it's so good. It's so good. And I love Scream. That's why, to me, I think it's the best horror franchise that's ever been made, but it is my second personal favorite. So coming in at number 2, my silver medal, Scream.
Mine is Child's Play. Yeah. It's fun. 7 movies, and they're all enjoyable. The timeline is pretty consistent with them. I think probably my least favorite is The Seed of Chucky. But I still enjoy that one. It's still fun. And the kills in it are really good, actually.
In Seed? Probably the best in the franchise.
Yeah. And Brad Dourif, I love him. Jennifer Tilly, absolutely love her. And I absolutely love this franchise, but it's not my favorite.
Totally understood.
But do you know?
How about you, Boomer? What comes in at number 2 for you, brother?
Okay, so I actually just switched this in my head. So this whole time, this was my number 1 going into it. I could show you the list, but I decided to change it So number 2 contains my favorite horror movie of all time. But as I was sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know. It's 1 and 1A. So, but I'll just go ahead. So number 2 will be the Evil Dead franchise, and I feel so bad just saying that. I love the Evil Dead franchise. Evil Dead 2 is my favorite horror movie of all time by leaps and bounds. I've seen it hundreds of times. It's ridiculous how many times that I've seen that movie. I love The Evil Dead. I love Army of Darkness. And I'm with you guys. I actually like the remake better than I like the original Evil Dead, even though I still love that movie.
Yeah.
But that remake is metal AF, and I'm here
yeah.
for it. It's so great and has one of the best endings that I've ever seen in a horror movie. So as much as it pains me, and it still hurts right now saying that, but I guess number 2 is the Evil Dead franchise.
And you know what? The remake has our boy Lou Taylor Pucci.
Yeah, I love Lou Taylor Pucci.
So yeah, we were sold from the rip. All right, let's catch up on the chat real quick before we get to number 1. Join the club. Ashley, I've been canceled for Scream too. Bummer. Have you seen the French film Martyrs? That movie's a mind fuck.
Yeah,
man. It really is.
It's crazy.
I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it. What about you, Boomer? Have you seen Martyrs?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen Martyrs and the remake. Martyrs, it just messes with your head. It's so hard to watch, but it's so great. It really is. That's a movie that will just stick with you for days.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. Jamie's trying to get Gav to bring it.
Yeah, wait.
Cancel off. J-Dev says number 2, Saw for me. Hey, can I guess your number 1, J-Dev? Number 3, Nightmare on Elm Street. Nancy's my hero. Heather Langenkamp is a bae. Ken, canceled.
Yes,
Ken's canceled again, just for a few minutes. The Bye Bye Man. It's got to be Hellraiser for me. Wow. See, I like the first 3 a lot. 4 is really good, and then it kind of goes downhill from there. I'm very excited to see what they do with the remake, though. Number 2, Candyman. The first Candyman's great. The second one is entertaining. The third one is not very good, and the requel was a good movie, not a good horror movie. That's why it wasn't on my list. Number 2, Halloween. Love Michael, but Jason's kicking his ass any day. Twice on Sunday. Yes,
nope.
He is. Jason will whoop that ass.
I don't believe it.
Gavin says number 2, Halloween. Scream is the best horror franchise, I think, for quality. Not a bad one in the bunch. I have issues with the new one and 3, but still prefer them 80. Yeah, exactly. Martyrs is a tough watch. French horror can be quite intense for me. Oh, High Tension is rough too. Martyrs is so messed up. A real mind twist. It's one of those films you have to watch twice. Absolutely. And here, Boomer, this is me guessing Evil Dead before you said it. So I just want to make it known. Watch the replay. I posted this before he said it. When he said his favorite horror film, I was like, oh, I know this one. Mika says my number 2 would be Halloween. It's one of my favorite franchises, part 1 and 2. Of course, my favorite 18, I think, was great. It could have ended there. I think it could have ended with H2O, to be honest. And that's not saying I don't love the new films. I just thought H2O had the perfect ending. Then you come back and tell me it was a paramedic under the mask.
It was.
No, it fucking wasn't.
It was.
I'm scared. I ran into a door. Number 2, Happy Death Day. I think since Scream, Happy Death Day reinvented the horror comedy genre, whether horror fans acknowledge that or not. I loved
they were
both
enjoyable,
of them. I can't wait I heard they're making a new one. I'd love to watch another one. What's up, guys? Evil Dead 2013 kicks ass. Yes. Thanks for joining us, Ken. It's nice to see you, buddy. Jamie says number 2 for me is Halloween minus the Rob Zombie. Michael is the ultimate villain. Talk more about that tomorrow. I gotta go. Maya, I'll give you the rest of my list. 7, The Conjuring. 6, Friday 13th. 5, Insidious. 4, Final Destination. 3, Paranormal Activity. Can you guess my top 2, Ken? I'm gonna guess It is in there and Child's Play. I'm gonna guess those are in your top 2. I love how different Boomer's list was a different flavor. It absolutely is. Respect the hell out of it. Number 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. Dennis Hopper. I am the Lord of the Harvest. I don't like them all. Number 2, Scream. One of the best films. Yes, Nathan, Boomer gave me a lot to add to my watch list. Hell yeah. Fun fact, Scream 2022, currently my 20th favorite movie of all time. Just updated my top 100 last night. Damn, I want to see that list.
Yeah.
Can I guess number 1?
I could guess it.
So now we're going to talk about our number 1s. Now, before we do that, Ashley, I believe it's you starting the song. As always, if you wouldn't mind, give your list all the way up to number 1 for people that are late in the chat to actually be able to catch up. So you want to give us your honorable mentions up through number 1?
Yep. So I had 2 honorable mentions. That was The Ring and Poltergeist. 10 was Final Destination. 9, The Exorcist. 8, A Nightmare on Elm Street. 7, The Evil Dead. 6 is Saw. 5, Insidious. 4, The Conjuring. 3, Scream. 2, Child's Play. And I'm sure everybody knows what my number 1 is, and that would be Halloween. Michael's my dude. And yeah, it holds a special part in my place. Well, a special part.
I'm rubbing off on you.
I know, now I can't talk. A special place in my heart. And honestly, it's a very influential slasher, in my opinion. Okay, and the timeline is wonky. I get it, but I enjoyed most of them. I don't care for Rob Zombie's Halloween. And Halloween 3, I don't like either. But most of them I like. And I just love Michael Myers. He's my dude.
I just don't like the good ones.
No, I like the good ones.
All right,
so
fair
that's
enough.
my number 1.
All right, Boomer. What's number 1 for you, brother?
All right. Do you want me to go back through the list or?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honorable mentions all the way up to number 1.
So honorable mentions were Child's Play and Scream. And number 10 on my list was Tremors. Number 9 was the Ringu franchise. Number 8 is Critters. 7, Friday the 13th. 6, One Missed Call. 5, Tomie. 4, Romero's of the Dead. 3, Whispering Corridors. Number 2, 1A, was Evil Dead. And number 1 is the Ju-On franchise.
I knew we were going to talk about that. That's why I didn't want to say anything earlier.
Ju-On franchise is better than I have words to say. It's phenomenal. And like I forget who posted earlier, forgive me, but you were asking for another one. So here we go. Ju-On the Curse. Not many people have seen that one. A lot of people are familiar with Ju-On the Grudge, which is great. Ju-On the Curse was Takashi Shimizu's first feature-length movie. He made 2 short films before that, which are actually really good. But they are still in the same mythology. But Ju-On the Curse is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It is super scary. It's great. You got to watch it. It's fair use, so you can watch it on YouTube for free. And I promise you, okay, if you hate it, then you can come on Twitter and tell me how much you hate it. That's fine. We'll talk about it. But every single movie in this franchise, I absolutely love. I love The Curse. I love The Curse 2, Grudge. I love Black Ghost and White Ghost. I love Kayako, Sadako versus Kayako. Oh my God, it's so amazing, and I could endlessly watch them, and they still scare me. They still absolutely scare me to this day. Every time the death rattle starts, and we talked about this on my podcast, but every time that once that begins, it just creeps me out. I love it. Ju-On, number 1.
Nice.
Very good.
Awesome.
So I will go through mine. Everybody in the chat, you know what my number 1 is. We're still going to talk about it. So my honorable mentions were Final Destination and Tremors. 10, The Exorcist. 9, Halloween. 8, The Conjuring. 7, Insidious. 6, Saw. 5, Nightmare on Elm Street. 4, Friday the 13th. 3, Leprechaun. 2, Scream. And of course, coming in at number 1, Leprechaun. No, I'm just fucking with you. Number 1, of course, Child's Play. This movie, it just does it for me, man. This franchise, it's perfect. Like, it's got the perfect villain. I love the main cast. Every movie to me is so much fun. Whether I love the movie or I hate the movie, like Seed of Chucky, I don't think is the best. I wouldn't say I hate it, but there's moments in it that I think could have been done better. The way they interpretate the LGBTQ community, I think could have been done better. But there's just something about Brad Dourif's Chucky that I think is just so phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And I love the remake. I love Child's Play 2019. Obviously, Child's Play 3 will always be my favorite of the franchise. Probably the most quoted movie in my life besides Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I quote Child's Play 3 all the time. You know, presto, you're dead. You know, there's so many. Chucky's gonna be a bro. But I just think that Child's Play is such a fantastic franchise, and we got the new TV show, and you've had Don Mancini along for the ride the whole time, except for the remake. Like, this has been, when it comes to consistency, he's just been for every single film, and he's still doing the Child's Play TV series, which was fantastic. I can't wait for season 2. So for me, it goes to Child's Play at number 1. Now, before we let you guys go, if you have any questions in the chat, I'm going to catch up on the chat real quick. As a reminder, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we will be doing our Maniac Madness, our March Madness style bracket, pitting up our 32 favorite horror villains against each other. And
you guys will be surprised.
Yes. And what we're doing is we are not going by who our favorite is.
I wanted to do that, but I couldn't do it. And I strategically.
Yeah. We're going by who we think would win in a one-on-one fight between these people using the powers they have available to them. If you do not have a copy yet,
we can send one to you.
Please get a hold of Ashley or me. We will be happy to email you a copy of the bracket so you can fill it out and join us tomorrow. I would love to see how you guys rank your horror villains compared to us, and see who wins it all for you. I think you'll be surprised by my pick.
Me too, honestly.
We don't know each other's picks, and even my son made a bracket. That's how much fun we've been having around the house with it. So
I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was your bracket.
She's like, she was like, I found your bracket. I was like, no, you didn't. My bracket's hidden. She was like, right here. I was like, that's Kenny's bracket.
Darn it.
So we really hope you guys can join us tomorrow. And like I said, hit Ashley up on Facebook or Instagram. Hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. We will be happy to send you a bracket for you to fill out and join us. We're very excited for that. Let's catch up on the chat real quick. Nathan says Scream 2022 was really good, J-Dev. I wouldn't have guessed the Maya. Oh, yeah, you haven't seen all Child's Play yet. We'll get there. We're going to have our watch party. Nathan's number 1 is Friday the 13th. Yeah, you guessed my number 1 favorite movie of all time. You probably will be wrong. Is it a horror movie? Let me ask you that. It's a tie. Halloween franchise will always be there. See, like I said, if The Shining and Dr. Sleep could have been one more film in that franchise, that probably would have won it. Me and Ashley have the same number 1. Russell says number 1, Resident Evil. Jada says number 1, Scream franchise for me. Scream 2 especially. My number 1 would be the Scream franchise. Big surprise, number 1 is Scream. Agree, Ashley, with Halloween being very influential. Slasher Halloween ripped the door down, but Friday the 13th set the door on fire.
Don't agree.
Can't go wrong with Halloween unless you're talking about Rob Zombie's first movie. Shout out to everyone who has Scream on their list as well. Number 1 on their list. You're not canceled. This is a strong tie because I couldn't decide. Number 1, Child's Play and Friday the 13th. Simply put, I love both Chucky and Jason. Each series, all sorts of different reasons. Number 1 is a tie between Halloween and Predator. And I know that your favorite movie is Predator. I do know that. So I figured that would be high on the list. I would not judge the Ju-on Japanese movies. Never seen them, but The Grudge is okay at best. Ju-on is much scarier than The Grudge. I feel confident. And when we're talking about just the first movie, Ju-on is scarier than The Grudge. My number 1 is actually Ginger Snaps. I got you, Shaim. I love the different take on the werewolf genre and the way that the female is the main character, doesn't need a man.
Yeah.
Ju-on is a great choice, Boomer. That's why it made my list as well. Ashton says, I love Child's Play. Glad to see I'm not the only one person giving Predator love. Leprechaun. Boo, Leprechaun.
Oh, that's
see, told you. Predator's my favorite horror movie of all time. Hey, what's up, Video Creep?
Hey.
Thanks for stopping in, buddy. I knew Reagan was going to say it. There isn't a better reboot or remake. Teach Grant is Raven's guy.
Yeah.
So I knew that she was going to have that on the list.
I get it.
Robin says number 1 in Nightmare on Elm Street. I cannot tell you how much I love those first 2 Child's Play movies. Maybe my favorite in the trilogy. After that, it goes downhill. Remake was cool. See, I love Bride of Chucky.
Oh, yeah.
I love Curse and Cult. I know a lot of people shit on Cult, but I love Cult. Cult makes me laugh a lot. And I don't think Seed's that bad. Like, I think Seed has the best kills in the franchise.
It does.
It was just misguided. They were trying too hard to be funny in that one.
Yeah.
Leprechaun wins. Leprechaun versus Chucky or Gremlins versus Critters? What would you like to see if it happened, Boomer?
I'm I'm a Critters person, so I would absolutely love to see Gremlins versus the Critters. But the Critters going to win. They're just more mean spirited.
Yeah,
I can see that. Okay, so thanks everyone. Hyped to catch the end. Dude, video. Thank you for stopping in. Looking forward to the bracket. Thoughts on Excision? I've never seen Excision.
Excision? No. I'm not sure what that is.
I don't think I've seen that. Have you seen that, Boomer?
I haven't. I know what he's talking about. Excision is. I know it's supposedly really, really good, and I just have not gotten around to it. But I'm doing a horror first watch this year. I'm trying to get to 365 movies, and that's definitely on the list. I've got to get to Excision.
Yeah. Very nice.
It's supposed to be really good. Yeah.
J-Dev says his favorite movie is not a horror movie. Pee-wee's Big Adventure. It better be. Or Back to the Future. It's got to be one of those two. Love Ginger Snaps. Yeah. Thank you, Jamie. Hill, we're in sync on the Ginger Snaps train, girl. Ginger Snaps are great movies. Awesome choice, Boomer. Gremlins versus Critters. I'd love to see it. Okay. Yeah. So like I said, we want to open the chat up now. If you have any questions for Boomer, if you have any questions for us, as I said at the beginning, make sure you're clicking that reminder. Be with us tomorrow at 8:00 p.m. for our Maniac Madness. I'm so excited to see what you guys have in store for us. If anybody's going to be in the Cincinnati area on Friday and Saturday, please let us know. We'd love to shake your hand. As long as we're masked up, and give you a hug, say what's up, give you some tap. We'd love to be able to meet you guys. So it's something that if you're going to be in the Cincinnati area Friday or Saturday, please hit us up. We'd love to see you. And please, if you haven't already, hit us up so we can shoot you out our bracket. We really want you guys to be a part of this. I'm so excited to see if anybody picks the same winner I got. I'm curious if me and you got the same winner, because my winner is not who I think anybody would guess.
Mine wasn't either.
I'll tell you this. My winner was mentioned today.
Mine was not.
It wasn't?
No.
Ooh, okay.
So we do not have the same.
Ooh, that's very nice. J-Dev says his favorite movie is Avengers Endgame.
Okay, I love that movie.
Avengers Assemble. Oh my gosh, the whole theater erupted at that part.
Yeah.
Me and Ashley stood up like, woo!
We have a small we live in a small town. We have this theater that only has just 2 theaters in it, and he literally bribed the owner to open that up Thursday night so the town could go in and watch it, and she did it, and it was such a great experience with that movie.
We did, because we had such a private showing.
Yeah.
I literally was like, listen, I'll pay for the movie. Just get it here Thursday night, and I'll fill this theater up.
Pizza, come on, let's do this.
And he did it. I was like, yes, you're the shit, man. J-Dev, thank you so much for the donation, buddy. Excellent stream. You're a part of that, buddy.
Yes.
And I do want to say it's officially official. Ashley will not be joining me for this one, but in a couple weeks, my buddy J-Dev and our good friend Robbie from that horror couple, we are going to be doing the very first Sledgehammer horror non-horror stream, where we will be counting down our top 10 professional wrestlers of all time. Whether it be WWE, WWF, AEW, TNA, WCW, WWF. I'm very excited for that. So I think that we're going to have a whole lot of fun with that list. Ashley won't be here.
I won't be there because I don't know nothing about it.
She'd just be like, Steve Austin, give me a hell yeah. Actually, I would love to see you break open some beers like that. Thank you, Ken, Ashley, and Boomer. No, thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming out. I know Ken's winner got a feeling, but do you, though? I went left field with my villains. I hope so.
Yes.
Would you guys love to see an Avengers of Final Girls horror movie? If yes, how would you guys pitch the idea? Now, I like the idea of that, getting some of the best Final Girls of all time to try to stop some of the best villains of all time, like a team up like that.
That'd be pretty cool.
I think that'd be great. Heather Langenkamp, Sydney, Nev Campbell, Jamie Lee Curtis obviously would have to be a part of it.
We would need some of the Avengers.
But I mean, some of the villains, you'd have to get Jason, Freddy, Michael.
Yeah. That'd
be dope, actually. And the intertwining, seeing Jamie Lloyd go against Jason, would be dope. Hell yeah, I'm in. Would you like to see that, Boomer?
Oh yeah. What I would love for that is just for them to come up with a totally new villain. And I know a lot of a lot of the appeal of that is the villains that they're facing. But I don't know, make it some kind of shared universe, and they've already, beaten these people, and then there's like a new evil that comes, and then they have to team up to take that on. And one that I really want to see, and I forget, you're gonna have to forgive me, I forget what her name is, but the girl from Your Net, Erin is my favorite final girl of all time. I just love her so much, how resourceful she is. And so, to have, Nancy and Jamie Lee Curtis and Erin and all these people team up to face some kind of new threat, I think would be really neat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would agree with that. Like a cabin in the woods universe where everybody was all a part of it. Like, I think that would be super dope. Okay. Great stream as always, guys. You never failed to put a smile on my face. Nice to catch you, Boomer. I'll be giving you a sub for sure. Please do. His podcast is great. We were so honored to be a part of it, and I think you guys will really, really dig it.
Yes.
So I do want to say also, awesome stream. I'm enjoying this so far. I'm so glad. Hey, everyone, super glad I got to join even for a bit. It was busy editing my reaction. Oh, dude, I'm glad you stopped out, Patrick. It's always nice to see you. Great stream. So again, guys, thank you so much for coming. I've had a blast with you guys, and it's been an honor to be able to have Boomer here with us. Like I said, his social media links as well as his podcast is down here in the description. So make sure you're giving that a follow. Hold on real quick. What's a standalone horror film you would like to see turn into a franchise? What's a standalone horror film that you would like to see turned into a franchise, my love?
The People Under the Stairs, I think, would be a good one.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes They Come Back would be cool to see turned into a franchise. Mm-hmm. See how that world expands. Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that expanded a little bit. I think that could be fun. What about you, Boomer?
All right, so I've got it sitting right behind me over here. I would love to see a couple more Cairo movies. The first one is amazing, and I mean, you could do so much world building with that franchise. And I know they made an American remake. Just skip that; it's terrible. But the actual, the actual Kiyoshi Kurosawa from Japan, if he was to come back and make further entries into that world, I'd be here for it, because it's bleak, it's scary, it's amazing. So I would be here for that.
Yeah,
love it. Mm-hmm. That would be awesome. Everyone is awesome. I agree. If you're here, we love you. You're awesome. Yes. Madman needs a series. Nice to have found you. We appreciate that so much. We're glad that we found you.
Yes.
Have a good night, guys. You too, Gavin. Have a blessed night, everyone, and everyone in the chat. Fun as hell stream tonight. Again, guys, I hate to sound like a broken record, but please join us tomorrow. I'm so excited to see how that goes for you.
Yes.
Boomer, don't go anywhere. I got a couple more questions for you. Everybody else, as always, keep talking horror.
Stay who you are.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.